Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. It's good to see you. I have a few oracle cards pulled for you already. I've been sitting in connection with your energy for just a couple of minutes, but the very first thing that struck me when I chose the decks for you and initially connected with you was the fact that all of your decks are of the same color scheme. They are all black, white, and gray. So black, white, and gray is the color palette that's coming forward for you right now, and it really feels like relief to me. It doesn't feel cold or harsh or empty or anything like that. It feels like an exhale. So it's almost like perhaps something in your life is a little bit overstimulating, or it could become overstimulating. This could be a person, place, thing, situation, maybe your own thoughts, your own emotions. Take it how it resonates, internally or externally. But if something is becoming overstimulating, okay, now I'm hearing if it's overstimulating, then it's hard to see the truth, or it's hard to see what is real or what matters most. So if anything in your life is overstimulating, I feel like Spirit is inviting you to not just work with the colors black, white, and gray, but to simplify. Simplify something. It also makes me think of the Death card in tarot. It makes me think of Scorpio energy. There's something here about, I'm hearing paring it down, getting back to basics, getting down to bare bones with something. This simplification process is going to be very relieving and revealing. Simple is best in some situation in your life, or maybe the totality of your life. So the theme of your reading is represented here by these three oracle cards. You've got intuition. This was the very first one that came through, so I take this as kind of the main theme, intuition. And it was followed by root and growth. And these cards clearly go together. They are very similar. It feels like something is taking hold. A seed that you planted or something new in your life, it's starting to drop roots, right? This could be your own embodiment, or it could be something external. Always take it as it resonates. But something in your life is starting to drop roots and therefore sprout. It's this very delicate, sort of tender moment where a lot of attunement and presence and your intuition is required. When I look at that intuition card, I just feel such a sense of flow, flexibility, presence, softness. So your intuition is required right now in order to continue nurturing and cultivating something in your life that's growing. It is, let's say, in alignment. Whatever it is that's growing in your life, it feels of your soul. Truly, it feels of your soul. And so Spirit is just inviting you to continue to be very soft with it, be very gentle with it, and to not approach this thing that you're growing in your life from a logical, calculating perspective, but to approach it, actually what's coming through now, to approach it from a more artistic perspective. Intuition and creativity are like two sides of the same coin. I talk about this in my intuitive mentorship container. Intuition and creativity go hand in hand. The more you allow yourself to be creative, the more intuitive you'll be, or the more you'll be able to hear your own intuition. It's that flow state. Right? So maybe some of you are artists, because that is coming through really strongly. Some of you, I feel, are artistically inclined, even if it doesn't look like a traditional artist, like you're painting, or writing. It could be that your creativity or your inner artist self is coming through in very unexpected ways, and maybe that's what you're growing. Maybe you're growing your inner artistry. I would also invite you to work with, okay, what's coming through is root, heart, crown. Root, heart, crown, and in that order, your chakras, right? Because there is a link between your root and your crown, and it is the heart center. The heart center is the bridge. So working with those three in tandem or in connection will be very helpful. And it's almost like the more you work with your root, the more your crown opens. The more you work with your crown, the more your root opens or strengthens. Okay. Looking at that growth card, I'm hearing the word precious. Something is precious to you. Whatever you love loves you. That's also coming through strongly. Whatever you love loves you in return. It wants to be nurtured by you. It wants to be cultivated by you. Even if this is, again, just like an energy or an embodiment that you're nurturing. It could be anything. And again, there is something here about like letting it be easy, letting it be simple. That is what will allow you to connect with your inner artistry and intuitive flow and knowing more than anything right now. Letting it be simple, letting it be easy. Feeling more than thinking, right? Okay. Tell me more about what Gemini is growing, or what is growing in Gemini's life. What is growing in Gemini's life, Spirit? Boundaries. Well, maybe it is your embodiment, your sense of self. The more you know yourself, the more connected you are to that which wants to come through you, right? Like I couldn't channel this YouTube channel unless I was really connected to the truth of who I am. So even if you don't think of yourself directly as an artist, I'm going to positively challenge you to consider yourself an artist just for today. Because creativity is something that is inherent to all humans. So you are an artist in a way, even if you don't think about yourself in those terms. So if you knew for a fact that you were an artist, what would that change, or how would that tweak or change the way you're going about what you're doing? Your sense of self is solidifying, and because your sense of self is strengthening, that which wants to grow through you or be channeled through you, it's becoming more and more clear. I'm getting now I'm getting chills actually up my back on the right side. What you are here to create or channel, same thing to me, that's becoming more clear. It's like you're really honing in on what you're here to create, maybe in a big picture way or just right now in this particular phase of life. Tell me more, clarify this boundaries card. What is growing? Okay, womb. Talk about creativity and channeling. Wow. Okay, wait, let's get one more. No, don't take that. Okay. Express. Beautiful. And look at the skeleton. The skeleton. The death card. Getting down to bare bones. Whoa. Let me sit with this for a second. Yeah. You're about to create something entirely new that is truly of you. Maybe the most aligned, self expressive thing you've ever created or channeled. And being in intuitive connection to that thing is how you water the plant. If you consider what you're creating or channeling as a plant, how you water it, how you feed it, how you give it sunshine, how you give it loving words, it's by feeding it with your intuitive, intuitive attunement and your presence. Okay. It feels almost like you're birthing yourself, or you're about to birth yourself in a way. Whatever it is that you're going to create is a direct extension of you. This feels really beautiful. Like my whole body is just softening as I sit in this energy. It does feel like an exhale. Ooh, it does feel like an exhale. And something about this simplification, it's like giving yourself and giving your creation the right nutrients. Part of this looks like not overcomplicating the process. It's almost like if you're feeding a plant and you're worried that it's not going to grow enough or grow faster, or you're worried it's going to die, so you just dump like 700 tons of fertilizer on it and you give it way too much nutrients. That's the overstimulation, right? Maybe all it needs is just a little bit of fertilizer, just a little bit of sunshine, and that's it. Not too much, not too much. Keep it simple. I keep on seeing this at the bottom of the deck, but Spirit's saying don't take it. Okay, all right, fine. All right, fine. Anything else come through this deck? No. All right, let's move into tarot. All right. Where do we go from here, Spirit? Tell me a little bit more about what Gemini is creating. And, you know, you can create through manifesting. So maybe you're creating, hypothetically, your dream job by manifesting it or lining up with it. This can look like a lot of different things. What you are attracting is of you. What is Gemini creating, attracting? I'm just hearing the word magic. What is Gemini channeling? 10 of Cups. This is supreme emotional fulfillment. For some of you, it may be a partner. Tell me more. Wow. The Magician. And the Seven of Pentacles. It's coming straight out of your heart. You see how there's a spiral over the Magician's heart? That's the heart is the bridge. The heart is the center point of all things. And I mean, look, the Magician is a tree. His crown is open. The roots are extending down. It's literally root, heart, crown. It's like your heart's authentic desires are so strong and they're so clear. Like you've become so clear, that clear conduit for your own soul. It's it's emanating outward, but it's also pulling in. I do feel like for some of you, what you're creating is actually something that you're attracting. What you are pulling in is ironically also a form of self-expression because it's so intentional, because it's so clear. And you see how in the Ten of Cups, the woman is pulling on that hand. You're being pulled in, or you are pulling in. I'm hearing magnetic forces radiating all that sunshine. There is a sense of groundedness and wholeness here through the Seven of Pentacles. A sense of, I'm just hearing like all is well. All is well. And that grounded, anchored embodiment, it kind of gives you the bandwidth or the internal spaciousness to kind of ask what's next. Hang on a second. Let me think about, or not think about it. Let me process this. Part of what you're creating or manifesting is a shift in direction or a tweak to what you've been doing. That's for sure. It's almost like up to this point, maybe you felt that there's some kind of misalignment in your life, even if it's just itty bitty. There's a misalignment that you're currently adjusting, or you will very soon be adjusting. I feel like for a lot of you, it could just be this tiny little tweak. All you need to do is make the tiniest, keep it simple, the tiniest little tweak. And suddenly you go from this feeling of, ooh, it's not quite right, to, oh, there we go. That's it. Alignment. But ultimately, again, whatever it is that you're creating, manifesting, calling in, it is of the Ten of Cups. It is of spirit. This is supreme emotional and spiritual fulfillment. Show me Gemini's general energy. Show me Gemini spirit. Six of Swords. Yeah, there's that kind of adjustment. It's an adjustment that you're able to make now because your sense of self is clarifying. So the Six of Swords is moving away from choppy waters to calmer waters, overstimulation to simplification. Definitely leaving something behind. Knight of Swords, more swords. And one more. Show me Gemini. Yeah. Okay, Page of Wands. Yes. And the Hermit. Beautiful, beautiful energy. You know that something in your life is done. You know it's time to move on from something, even if that's just a pattern of thinking. You have completed something. The Six of Swords is tied to the Seven of Pentacles, 100%. Okay, so it's like, we did this. You did this thing. You learned from this thing. It's done. We're done. Okay? New truth is emerging from that experience. I'm hearing you say, I don't like something. So maybe something just, you thought something was for you, so you tried it, but then not quite right. Okay, clarified, let's move on. There may be a little bit of heaviness associated with it, but all in all, your energy just feels like heart open, heart open. So Knight of Swords is taking action, taking swift, decisive action based on personal truth. You're moving forward in a big way into the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is curiosity about this new spark of life and passion and purpose and direction that you're tapping into. That the spark of fire in the Page of Wands, I feel, is the sprout here in the growth card. This is your new spark. And you're very curious about how you can nurture this spark to life, how you can nurture this plant into a full-grown tree, or whatever it ultimately is meant to be, into its fullest form, because it is of your soul's passion. It is of your own life force energy. Now, the Hermit's very interesting here because the staff in this Hermit card is actually a snake. So it's almost like you're in control of your own transformation here. You have transformed. Let me feel into that. I'm hearing you understand the snake. You understand the nature of the snake. It's almost like you're the snake and the one who controls it. You understand on a deep, deep level the mechanics, in a way, of transformation because you've done it so many times. You've transformed over and over and over again. So now you're holding the snake in your hand as your staff. You know how to use transformative energies to your advantage or to your benefit rather than being, consumed by them or feeling powerless to them, or it's something that just happens to you and you're completely out of control. No, it's like you're a co-creator of your own transformation and you can harness transformative energies right now, to help you in this process. That intuition card and the Page of Wands also go together because part of being intuitive is being very, very, very curious and having no expectations. Because if you go into a situation full of expectations and projections, you're not present. You're not present to what is unfolding, right? So presence is part of keeping it simple, right? Not planning too far ahead or thinking that you know exactly what something is going to need, X amount of weeks from now. No, just stay right here. Stay right here. Stay curious. Stay curious. Stay excited. Wow. Okay, so what's the challenge that Gemini is currently facing? What energies are challenging Gemini at this time? I've never worded it that way. Okay, maybe you need to word something a different way, or you're finding that you can verbalize something in a new way. Six of Wands, interesting. Oh, I'm getting a very particular feeling. Ooh, that just changed like everything. Ooh, okay. Up to this moment, I have just felt like heart open. Yes. So good. So soft. Now I feel like my heart is shutting down. This feels like the weight of who you used to be, or the weight of maybe expectations that other people have of you. Clarify the Six of Wands. What energies are challenging Gemini? Two of Wands. Yeah, and one more. Okay, or two more. Two of Cups. And the Empress. Yes, look at this. Okay. So you are in, or you're being invited to be in the energy of the Two of Wands, okay? He is looking away from the Six of Wands towards the Two of Cups and the Empress, okay? So this is your challenge, to turn away from the Six of Wands towards Two of Cups and Empress. This is your challenge, I feel, is being brave enough or courageous enough to turn your whole body, not just turn your face away, but your heart, your chest, your shoulders, everything, turn away from an old life, an old storyline or an old performance, maybe even in a way, that's locking you into something that's not right for you anymore. Maybe it used to be right for you. You received recognition for it. You received applause for it. People have assumptions about who you are, and you've received a lot of praise for that in some way, recognition. So it can be enticing to want to almost like keep playing into that old identity. But your boundaries are completely upgrading, right? Your sense of self is completely upgrading, and this new expanded sense of self is the thing that's allowing you to channel your soul in a whole new way, in a new creation. So turn away from that old identity that got you a lot of praise towards the praise of your soul. Value the praise of your soul above the praise of other people. Because when you dance with your own heart and soul, you create miracles. You create magic. The Empress is pregnant, right? You birth what you're here to birth. Why is this the challenge? I understand why it is the challenge, because it's almost like I'm hearing so many other people were involved in your storyline, so some part of you might not feel free to just drop the old life and go towards the new one because you care, right? Why is this the challenge? Four of Cups. Eight of Cups. Wow. And what's at the bottom? Yeah, Five of Wands. Saying no and walking away from an old emotional story or entanglement, it might cause conflict. You're afraid, or you are. I don't know that you're afraid. I don't know that you're afraid. Let me tune into that. It's not even so much that you're afraid of causing conflict or causing waves or not living up to old expectations. It's more so I feel like you just don't want to deal with it. I feel like you've even moved beyond this paradigm of, oh, I don't want to cause waves, codependency, living for other people, people pleasing, like, ooh, I'm afraid if you're hurting. It's kind of more just like this feeling of you don't want to deal with other people's issues. You don't want to deal with other people's problems, or like their reaction to how you choose to live your life is on them, and it feels like you're acutely aware of that. So you just don't really want to deal with it, but maybe some part of you feels like you'll have to, because that's part of being in relationship to other people, isn't it? Right? Moving into your new identity and focusing all of your energy on this new creation that you're nurturing, it just feels so empowering. I feel like you feel that too. You're ready to shift your focus away from anything that is not this new life calling you. But it's almost like maybe on some level you're kind of psyching yourself up to deal with what people are going to think about it. So what's the advice? This is super specific, but for some of you it feels like there's a family member. And maybe like a best friend, but what came to me immediately was like there's a family member who some of you you're afraid of fighting with, or you already are fighting with, and you just don't want to have to keep engaging with this. Queen of Wands and Page of Pentacles as your advice. Your fire, which, again, fire is a symbol of passion, life force energy, sense of self, direction, motivation. Your self expression, your fire will grow the strongest, the quickest when you take your time. It is that irony of not rushing, allowing things to progress as fast as physically possible. But like, you really have to be willing to take your time. It can't be this kind of, you're just telling yourself that, but really deep down, you're desperate. You really have to be willing to take your time. The Page of Pentacles goes with that Page of Wands. Curiosity. Spirit is inviting you to stay in that supremely present, curious, open, no expectations, childlike frame of mind. Just wondering every day, being open to learning how that which wants to birth through you, how it wants to progress, right? Because whatever you're creating, you're automatically co-creating with the thing. So like, I'm constantly in co-creation with my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is its own entity that I'm talking to all the time. So there's something about collaborative energy here. Your creation is its own entity that non-physically or etherically already exists. Are you in connection with it? Are you learning from it as you birth it, right? Kind of like really ground into that day to day process of chop wood, carry water, with no expectations about a timeline. That's how you anchor into your power. That's how you grow this fire. And the more your fire grows, the more light you're shining and expressing. It feels almost like it's just gonna push out any of that Five of Wands. It's just, the more you shine, the less negative energy can get at you, right? Ten of Pentacles. So you've had the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck now. And it's just like, wait a minute. It's just like the Ten of Cups with the hands. Look at that. The hands holding each other. Co-creation. Collaborative energy. 3303 on the timer. The question is coming to me, who do you want to work with? Who, or maybe what energies, would you like to collaborate with? Who is easy to work with? I'm also getting the question, who do you want to help? I'm 3333. I don't know. Maybe what you're growing is meant to help other people for some of you. But the Ten of Pentacles is legacy. It's legacy built over years, if not decades. It's long-term thinking. It's being willing to put in that work day after day after day after day. Slow and steady wins the race, because eventually that little daily work you put in every single day, it all adds up, and you're going to be the one who built a legacy, who built a whole house, who grew a gigantic tree from that little baby sprout, because you didn't rush. And so it just unfolded in divine timing, right? Let's get a journal prompt for you from my journal prompt deck. Journal prompt for Gemini. Ooh, what is the difference between perfectionism and mastery? Talk about long-term thinking. Mastery means you are the eternal student. You never stop learning because you love to learn. What do you want to master? I feel like whatever you want to master is the thing you're collaborating with. It would be like me with tarot, right? Walking a path of mastery with tarot means I'm constantly learning. I am devoted to getting better forever. I'm not trying to reach some arbitrary finish line as fast as possible so I can just go check, done, now what? No. Mastery comes from joy, the infinite love of learning. So this is again pointing to that page energy. What do you love learning about? Hopefully your own creations. And at the bottom of the deck, if you already had everything you currently desire, what would you desire next? That ties into the Ten of Pentacles to me. Long-term thinking. But also this idea of whittling something down, reducing the overstimulation so that you can see the deepest core truth of something. Maybe there are some things you've told yourself you want, but you're kind of discovering now that they're fluff. So if you ask yourself this, if I already had what I wanted, what would I want next? And then what? And then what? And then what? Eventually you'll kind of whittle it down to maybe your heart's most authentic desire. Okay, let's get a closing message from Into the Lonely Woods. Very interesting that this is the deck that wanted to do your closing message. Since we're talking so much about collaboration and connection, hopefully you can't hear that. My phone is buzzing. And I'm getting a phone call. Connection, collaboration. In contrast with the Into the Lonely Woods, maybe you're alchemizing some kind of loneliness, or there's an interesting interplay here between deepening in your connection to spirit, your creation, your heart. Maybe that will require you to release some external relationships. So this is an interesting thing. The interplay, like feeling so deeply connected, more deeply connected and intimate in a way with life than you've ever felt. For some of you, maybe it will require more external loneliness, or just being more particular about who you spend your time with, right? I don't know. Loneliness is not so lonely when you're enjoying your connection to yourself. 38, in the vastness of it all. There's a tiny, 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 tiny little bumblebee, I think. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. It's so little. In the vastness of it all. Let's see what the guidebook says. Okay. There will be times when being alone can make us feel so very small and full of doubt. Questions pour through our being. Do we matter? Do others care? Why do I feel so lost? And the vastness of the silence that greets these questions may seem to confirm our insignificance. But in time, you will feel a part of it all, and your form, your shape, your being will fit within the greater design of the world. You are significant, for you are a child of this planet, and you belong here. See the small one before you, the tiny flower, the bird, the wing of the dragonfly. You are not so small, for they see you as a great mountain. It's all about perspective, isn't it? I hope this was helpful, Gemini, or at least thought-provoking. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you, and of course I'll be putting those journal prompts in the description box along with a couple of others, so be sure to check them out. They'll help you to process all of this and take your inner work a little bit deeper. I'll see you next time. Bye.